All right.
And welcome to In the Public Interest. I am your host, Beanie Stansberry. You're watching on WPHY, and you're listening to the 5-time Stellar Award-winning station, 1300 WIMG. I often feel like we are the little engine that could. A lot of people say, how do y'all do it? It's because of the wonderful people from WIMG and WPHY. As a standalone station, it is kind of hard to get stuff done, but I just thank God for you guys that we keep getting it done. And y'all are the best. I love when I get to meet new people. Now, for those that know me, I will mess up a name. So I'm going to work really hard with not messing up her name. And I am about to interview a delightful young lady. And I'm putting emphasis on young because when I'm going to tell you who she is, you're going to be like, what? And she is young. And that's Miss Sheria McRae. Did I say it right?
Sheria.
Sheria, see, I knew it. I tried.
It's okay.
Miss Sheria McRae, and she is the CEO / superintendent is what we would know her as, which of Foundation Academy here in the Trenton, Hamilton area. Do you guys say Trenton or do you say Hamilton?
We're Trenton. So we're located, both our schools are located in the south. One is located in the south ward of Trenton, and the other is located in the west ward of Trenton.
Okay, because one is located right down the street from my church. I go to Gethsemane Tabernacle on West State Street.
Yes.
And so there's a school that's there. Which school is that?
That is our grades K-8. So we have actually 3 schools in that one building. So that's our schools are primary schools. So that's our K-2 school in that building. And then we have our intermediate school, which are grades 3 through 5. And then we have our middle school, grades 6 through 8 on the top floor.
Oh, wow. And the high school is?
Our high school is located on Grand. So that's in the South Ward off of Cash Street. And that's our grades 9 through 12.
Now, this is going to sound crazy, but I want to go backwards. Okay. So I want to start with the high school because in the past, there has been a lot of things that the high school doesn't participate in anything. They just go and they're all academics. These kids have no social skills. They're not in anything. And that has been the stigma behind Foundation Academy for a while. So let's start with the high school and talk about what's going on at the high school.
Yeah, so our high school, we actually have a lot of opportunities there. I think our high school, of course, we're small. We have about 300 students in our high school. And so are we as big as a Ewing High or a Trenton High or a Hamilton High to have, tons and tons of electives because we have tons and tons of students and teachers? No, but we do have electives, that our students take. We also have that I think is very special enrichment or club activities that we have our students participate in. We have sports, any sports that we don't have, our students can participate in those sports at Trenton Central High School. So we do have a basketball team, we have volleyball team, we have a soccer team, we have cheerleading, we have many activities, many clubs, like student government, newspaper. We have all of the clubs and activities that you would see at larger high schools. So it's not just academics. When I visit our building, I love to see the kids engaging with each other collaboratively, having their own events, like, over the holidays, kids do certain things. They had paint and juice it time where they, a club painted. We have peer leadership opportunities. There's a lot for our students to do here at Foundation. And we really started to strike that up. It was an opportunity to strike that up definitely after the pandemic and our students being in their house, pretty isolated, only learning through the computer. We really wanted to come back strong and make sure our kids know and our scholars know that, yes, academics is important. That's what you come to school to do, but you don't only just learn through math, science, social studies, right? You learn through critical thinking skills by collaborating with others and using the left part of your brain. So through arts and other creative ways and sports. So we definitely have a lot to offer at Foundation Academies. And we would love for, more students in the city of Trenton to come check us out and see.
Well, let's stick with the high school because there are some parents who want to do an alternative to Trenton High, but still allow their child to be connected to the high school. I like football and other sports that you may not have, but I believe football is the primary sport that they can go to the high school for. So my thing is a child might be in the 8th grade or the 9th grade and they don't want them at Trenton High. They would like to look at other alternatives. Tell them about Foundation.
Yes, definitely. So we make a promise to our scholars and our families to equip them to excel in learning and empower them to lead purpose-filled lives, right? That's a tall order. And so what our main focus is making sure that we are equipping our students with all the tools necessary to be successful. And that does take increasing our programming, the programming that we have here. And it also we need more people. I mean, one of the things about our kind of club program is we're utilizing a lot of people from the community to come in and work with the students very specifically. Really, it's about facilitation. They're in high school at that point, and you want to be able to, really build their skills. And so, and help them to be leaders of their passions and their purpose. And so it takes, a lot of committed partners in our community to come into our schools and really work with our students around their passions. Again, sports, if we don't have it, like you said, football, wrestling, any of those activities, those, basically they take a lot of money, right? Like football, they take a lot of money. But any of those sports that maybe right now we don't have the capacity to have here at Foundation Academy, our students do go to Trenton Central and participate there. And we have a collaboration between our own athletic director that we have at Foundation and Trenton's athletic director. So even in the paper, some of our Foundation Academy students are front page in the paper. They're spotlighted. You would never even really know, right? There's no separation. Right. We're doing this work together. It's one community, all in support, one village, all in support of all of our kids in Trenton. And that's what really matters. So again, whatever we're missing, trust me, we work to get the resources to bring them in for our students very specifically. So we're promoting and supporting the whole child.
Amen. How would a parent look and say, okay, I want to apply or I want to come see the school and I want my child, to look at an alternative? How can they do that?
Definitely. So first is our website, www.foundationacademies.org, checking it out. We have an enrollment page there. On that page, we are going to have it specifically for our high school open house, so that families can come in and see what the school looks like with students and staff in the building, and have an opportunity to see what we have to offer, right? We don't want it to be just necessarily word of mouth of what people, like you said, what people think Foundation Academy is. We're really opening our doors now and doing a lot of this so everyone understands what we stand for, what we have to offer, and knows that what we don't have, we have partnerships. And so no child is missing out on anything. We want all of our kids in Trenton to get that quality. And so definitely checking out our website, following us on our social media pages, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, because we will be having so much more information about those open houses. But if anybody's ready to enroll now, please do on our website.
Right, because someone can decide, you know what, I want my child to change. We're in January. So if you want it, you could go, or if you want to look early, because before we know it, June will be here.
Yes, it will.
And so they may need that post. Now, do you guys have what I remember? Now, you can correct me, and I really don't mind being wrong. But what I remember is y'all have school in the summertime, or they have less of a summer break than most because you have enrichment during the summer.
So we do have a longer school year. So that means we start school in August. So we start school for students the third week in August. Students come to school, but we end in June at the same time as Trenton Public Schools end. During that summer break from that June time to the third week in August, there's no school, but we do have what we call Summer Academy, and students are here with a focus on math and English, ELA skills, but we also have an enrichment portion as well. So they go on trips. They go to the library weekly. We had Trenton Circus Squad come. They do a lot of different activities. And so we do hold the Summer Academy. This year, we're going to do the same thing, just differentiate it a little bit for our high school students and make sure that all of our high school students have the opportunity to be connected with the summer programming that works for them, that suits their individual needs. So we have some partnerships floating around there, but that also will include enrichment. It's not just academics. Yes, academics is important. Quality academics is really, really important. But again, in order for our scholars to lead purpose-filled lives, we do recognize we have to expose them and provide them with opportunity and access to figure out what they're actually even passionate about. So we do have those opportunities during the actual break that we have from June to August.
So we're going to stick with the high school because we got the other schools to go to too. Yeah. But I also want to talk about teachers. Yes. You said that, there's staff and you probably need teachers like everybody else. Yes. So what would be the qualifications if someone is just coming out of school, or they're graduating, or they have a certificate, like they have a degree? I have a degree in, what do I have a degree in? Oh, behavioral science. I have a degree in behavioral science. So I just can't walk up and say, oh, I'm going to teach math. But what are the qualifications for a teacher, and are you looking for some?
Oh, definitely. We are looking for, you want to, really make a difference, really understand education as a social justice issue and want to get involved. I definitely do think Foundation Academy is the place to do that. I was a psychology major coming out of college. Howard University, the Mecca, HU, And so when I came out, I became an English teacher because there is a pathway for that, which many do not know. So I'm glad you asked that question. There's alternate route opportunities for those who come out of, college with a non-education degree. But we also have internal opportunities where we've been granted the opportunity to hire non-certified staff and help them. It's a part of a 5-year pilot, help them get certified. And as a result of that, we've made a lot of connections with universities who can get you certified, and basically for no cost to you.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Say
So
that one more time, because there might be someone saying, hold up, I want to change my career. Like my sister, I can't wait to go call her. I want to change my career. And she's good with children. She like little children. But there might be someone that's there saying, hold up. So repeat that for me one more time.
So we do have partnerships with universities where you can get certified. And also, even if you didn't have your bachelor's. So we're part of that pilot as well. So maybe you have another year or a couple of months until you actually can get your bachelor's degree. This program would help you to do that at little to no cost to you, as long as you're an employee of Foundation Academy. So we can hire you, and we do have the resources and tools to help you get your bachelor's and also get certified for little to no cost, right? The cost to you would be to take the tests, to get the certification, but the coursework, little to no cost to you. And this is the best place to do it. I say it's the best place to do it. When I started off in traditional public in Newark public schools, I was kind of put in a classroom and out here, on my own. At Foundation Academy, everyone has a coach.
Oh, wow.
That supports them professionally. We do development plans together. You're observed weekly, not as an evaluation, but ultimately to help you get to where you want to go and be the best teacher or social worker, whatever role you have for scholars. So this is the best place if you're a career changer coming out of college. This is the best place to get started.
Amen. When you were talking, all I could see is Abbott Elementary, where the young two has the other older teachers, and all I kept thinking was Abbott Elementary. When you said you have a coach, I was like, oh, like Abbott?
Yes, that's exactly how it is. A little different, but yes.
Yeah, I love that. I do. Shout out to that show, Abbott Elementary, because it makes you look at teaching and having that coach in a different capacity. So even though they didn't act like their coach, those older teachers were they are, and it's funny. Yes. But it lets you see them in a different light.
Yep.
So when you said that, I couldn't help but to smile. Another thing that you guys do very well are uniforms, and I like that. My granddaughter is a stickler for her uniform right now because she's in kindergarten. The other ones, they're like, come on. And I be like, but the uniforms look so cute. And the ones that go to Trenton High say, but my mom, they're not mandatory. And my parents aren't making me wear them. So, but I love the unification, and they always tell me I make up words. So if I do that in the course of it, long as you understand, you good, okay?
I got you.
So the unification of uniforms is nice to me. Why is that important for Foundation?
Yeah, I think here for us, it's equity. It just provides everyone, because even if a student or a family can't afford it, we will purchase it, right? It just ensures, and it's something we can purchase, right? It's something that ensures that no child has to come to school worrying about what they have on, what's, someone else versus what someone else has. There's no comparison of that. They're able to be themselves. Now, one of the things that we've done is, because it's all about individuality and how can students express themselves when they all have to look the same. Well, if you come here, the students don't look the same, right? They express themselves in various different ways through their socks, to their jewelry, right? Whatever they put on to accessorize, they do that. But we want the focus here to be, we don't want comparisons. We want the focus here to be learning in all aspects of that. We want to be able to celebrate and focus on each other's differences. And, when you have on the Foundation Academy logo, it also provides a sense of pride, right? A connectivity there. We go, we're in this together. This is our school. There's ownership there. But again, the individuality, it's very clear to see that, right? Like when I walk through the halls and I see our students, especially at our high school, I see who they are as individual people just from the way they accessorize, right? And it stands out. And I love that, right? Whether it's their hair color, the jewelry that they're wearing, the socks that we're wearing, but they also get an opportunity. It's not uniforms 100% of the school year, right? We have school spirit week, we have dress down days. We do all of those things as well so that our scholars can, dress down, but we just don't want them to be worried about their clothing and comparing themselves to each other, or to others and to each other. We want them to feel at home, right? And they do, right? With the uniforms, even if they don't always want to wear them, we don't get that much of a fight at this point because they are able to express themselves in so many others.
That's perfect. Now let's go down to the middle school.
Yeah.
Wait, before I do that, let's do support staff, because all schools need a support staff. You have to have some teachers, other that teacher aides, you have people that clean, you have people that do all kinds of things, and then you need support staff. So you probably have counselors and all of that. So are you looking for support staff as well?
Yeah. Yes. So we call them, they're a part of our home office.
Okay.
And we don't call them technically support staff just because we're building and maintaining a community here, a cyclical community, right? And so I am even a part of home office. And what we want to do is create a culture where it's this village culture around students. Okay. So students are centered and so that means a teacher is support staff technically, right? So that's why we just say home office, because we center the student and everyone, that village is around doing everything that's necessary to make sure every single student is being successful. But yes, we have on our website, if you go to foundationacademies.org, home office positions as well. When it comes to development, so fundraising very specifically to, classroom aides or one-on-ones. We have social workers up there. There is a need there as well. So even if you're not interested in teaching, there are those other opportunities that we have as well. All right. The more, the better, right? Like the more, and if you're not quite sure, just apply, right? And we'll make sure that you get in the right seat on the bus. That's what's really important, is that everyone is leveraging their strengths to help move our mission, move our vision forward. And so I always tell people, just apply and we will help you figure out what is the right fit for you.
I like that. Where can they apply again?
So go on our website, foundationacademies.org. It's very actually simple. There's a tab like work for us, and there's a quick application that you could even just quickly fill out to say, that you're interested. It's not long, doesn't take that long. And then again, we handle the rest. We have, staff that really will support you and walk you through the entire process.
That's wonderful. It's also good to know. So that's good.
Definitely.
Let's talk about the middle school. That's where my heart is with middle schoolers, right? You're not an adolescent, but you're not quite that full-blown teenager. You're just right in the middle. It's like 11 o'clock to me. 11 o'clock is not morning, but you're not quite afternoon. So I give it its own title, and that's 11 o'clock. So those students, that's where my heart lies with them. So to know that you have a middle school and you're not clunking it as one school, that makes me smile, and that they're separate from the little people, but they're also not with the big people. Right. So I'd love that. What makes your middle school stand out?
Yeah, I think our middle schoolers, there are truth tellers. So when we want to know, especially me, when I do my listening tours, I especially listen to our middle schoolers, because they are the ones that are going to say, yeah, here's what we said. We see you improving in this area, but here's what you need to do a lot better, Miss McRae. And I'm like, all right, duly noted. I'm going to get people, we're going to get on top of that. And that is, to me, just the fact that our middle schoolers feel comfortable. And we have that space, and we've created that culture where they feel comfortable communicating to us how they feel, what their needs are, is really, really important. I also think I used to be a middle school teacher and principal for years, because middle school is my spot. That's my soft spot too. It took a lot for me to walk away from being middle school principal to become a chief academic officer. But with middle school, I think one of the things that's key there is sometimes because there's a lot of emotions and feelings, and they don't know what to do with that, and chemicals going on with them. What is really important is like us focusing them on how to be leaders, right? And really teaching them how to channel all of those feelings, emotions, and energy that they have into something positive that contributes to themselves, but also their entire school community. And so we make sure that we beef up and do a lot of programming with them specifically, or have a lot of programming that does that, right? But also really helping everyone who comes into contact with our middle schoolers understand what is developmentally appropriate for them at that age, because that's not always clear. So we make sure that it's like, let's look at sixth grade. Yeah, they're doing that because this is what is appropriate. And that's for everyone, because you could easily start to look at, you're like, the way they behave sometimes, you expect something more advanced that's not for their age group.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. So we really have made sure that everyone has an understanding of what is developmentally appropriate and what is not. We make sure we channel that into something positive, so that they learn, a lot of skills at that age. So then when they get to high school, they know how to manage and filter and do all of those things pretty autonomously.
I love that. Yeah, they're my soft hearts. And I look at my 5-year-old granddaughter now and be like, you got to remember she's 5, but when she opens that mouth, oh yeah, she thinks
that's my 6-year-old.
Right.
Yes, I have a 6-year-old. Same way. And the other thing about middle school too is like, you got to keep it fun. So we do a lot of different things there. Like they have a lot of pep rallies, right? Where they do different things that our other schools don't do. Or coming up next week, they're going to have parents come into the school and get to understand like where they are academically, and have conversations with their teachers around what could happen to support them, not to tell on them and get them in trouble for not doing this or responding this way, but like really make them a part of their learning process. So we do a lot of different things with our middle schoolers specifically because we understand what their needs are.
Now, do they have a moving up ceremony when they go into high school? Because, you know, that sometimes I've seen a lot of schools kind of skip that, and that saddened me because the children have to look forward to something.
Yes. Yeah, we do. So we call them moving up ceremonies when it's like kindergarten to first grade. We do a 5th grade to 6th grade. I even think they do 2nd to 3rd grade. In 8th grade, we call it recommitment. And so we have a whole ceremony where the students are actually, they have a student speaker, someone sings, they walk in, they wear their stoles, they say our call and response, but it really is a recommitment to these next years of education. They need to recommit themselves to that because yes, you got 4 more years plus some, right? And so we want to see at that point, right, that they truly do have an understanding of what education actually means to them and what, you know, how they want to go into their 9th grade year. Who do they want to be? Do they know who they want to be? How will their next 4 years and beyond be different from the years they just served in school? So we do have a ceremony to just delineate that change because that's major from 8th grade, middle school to now high school. And we want our 9th graders when they become freshmen to it's kind of like when you became a freshman, you like starting all over, you the bottom, the small fish and small fry. Well, actually doing the recommitment actually doesn't do that for our 9th graders. So you see our 9th graders being powerhouse leaders. You know, in our high school, that's the whole point of that, not to feel like, oh, we're at the bottom. No, like you have the skill, rise to the occasion, step up, and, you know, there's more for you to learn, but definitely, I think the recommitment ceremony does create that leadership and it helps them feel good about moving on.
I like that. I do, recommitment. Okay, what about now? You said 3 to 6. Correct?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Okay, because 6 is middle school. So 3 to 5. Why did you separate K through 3 and then 3 to 5?
Yeah, so that was just all a part of kind of our evolution to become a K through 12 school. And so when Foundation Academy first opened in 2007, it was a grades 5 through 8 school. It was meant to be a 5 through 8 middle school. And so then we decided, okay, we need to start to open up younger grades. And so we had 5 through 8, then we opened up 3rd grade. And then those 3rd graders went to 4th grade. And then those 4th graders went to 5th grade. But then we decided we wanted to go younger. So then we went to kindergarten and then those kids. So it's just the way, you know, we evolved to be K-12 it was back. We first originated as a 5 through 8 school and then just added on from there, 1 grade level at a time.
Okay. Because I was like, I wonder why it's separate like that. Go ahead.
Yeah. And as we look, you know, as we look forward to the future and start to talk about, you know, expanding and things like that, it's not necessarily that we would keep that type of structure because there's no magic to it, right? I wish I could say like, well, this is why we do it. It works best like this. It really isn't.
And I love the honesty. That's right. I love the honesty. I wanted people to hear about Foundation first. Yeah. But those that are listening, they're probably saying, Vini, she sounds young. And those that are watching, you look like you fresh out of high school yourself.
You
do. Like You really do look like you're fresh, at least out of college. You look very young. So
Ooh.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born and raised and went to school?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Trenton. I was born in Mercer Hospital. Um, I went to various schools as a result of, my mom just wanting to have the best quality education for me. So that meant using various addresses, at times and going through the Hamilton public school system. But I can't say that, I really felt like that school system, I really knew who I was, right? Like I didn't, wouldn't say I had a positive self-concept because that's not what I was learning about. I wasn't learning about myself and my people, who I come from. I knew that because it was deeply rooted in my familial background, but that wasn't invited into the school system in which I grew up in. And so although my mom felt as though I was safe, I wouldn't say that I was safe emotionally, because I struggled with who are my people. Like I need to learn about my people. Who are my people? Who am I? And so that led me to attend Howard University. And my experience there at the Mecca really strengthened my self-concept and my idea, just this thought of community and just this thought of giving back, because for a long time I wanted to get away from Trenton and never come back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was my story, but I ultimately learned and recognized how detrimental that is to a community, to not get these resources, talents, knowledge, and not bring it back, right? And lend myself to help my people, help my community, help my village, help our city. And so when I was when I was at Howard, I was working for work study inside of a DC public school. And I saw the disparities happening there. At that time, they were doing like teaching without walls. So there were no real classrooms. You could hear everybody was in one space and there were just dividers. You could hear everybody teaching. They didn't have support for the Spanish preferred students or Spanish speaking students or ESL students. And so they had me as a college student, because back then I was pretty fluent in Spanish. I had taken like 20 years of Spanish. And so I was fluent and they had me teaching them. And I was a college student and I'm like, this is an injustice, right? And I'm looking around, it's only Black and brown children inside of this classroom, and you're asking me, a college student, to help educate them. So not only did I see it as an injustice, but I'm like, the system needs help, right? So I joined Teach for America, and I went, but still, I kind of still had the mindset of, yeah, I want to help and I want to help my people, but I'm not going back to Trenton. So I went to Newark. And I was in Newark for 4 years, developed a village, a community there. But then after 4 years, I'm like, why am I here in Newark doing all this? I'm giving so much, right? I'm passionate, as you can tell, I'm a very passionate person. I'm pouring my heart and soul out. I still have relationships with my kids and my families. Then they were like my family. Why don't I come back to Trenton? And that's what led me here. And I've been at Foundation. I came back in 2010, and I've been at Foundation since 2010, starting off as a teacher. I'm a teacher at heart, right? I'm not one of those administrators, or superintendents where it's like, oh, they're so far removed. I can never be far removed from the classroom. The classroom and children just has my heart. So I've been doing this for 17 years.
Wow. Wow. You can't tell. So that's a blessing.
Yeah.
You look amazing. Do you know the only reason I wanted to go to Howard was so I could say,
I mean, yeah, I can see that.
Only reason. And I was just like, so when our vice president was
Mhm.
you know, being sworn in and stuff. And she walked by and she said it. Oh, my heart just went, yes.
It connects us just to say that. I mean, the football stadiums go wild when we can say that together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you said it so smooth earlier. And I was cracking up. I was like, I can't wait to tell her. But I never went. But the reason why I wanted to go, that was the only
Was
school
the
that I really wanted to go to. And that was the reason why.
Yeah,
Really?
because everybody knows it, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing that, if it's going to connect people, that's the thing that connects people. So, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it was the best. So now I can see why you're so passionate for Foundation, but I want to say kudos to Foundation for elevating within,
Mm-hmm.
because you said you started as a teacher and now you are the CEO or slash superintendent for some. That's like, how did the school have a CEO? That's essentially what you are of all of them. What was it like moving up in the ranks, and why did you want to?
Yeah, it's not easy being a Black woman, trying to rise up in the ranks. Specifically, I mean, we are a charter school. So charter schools are public schools. But ultimately back then, charters got a lot of flack for, just opening up in urban environments and just having,
Yeah.
white teachers teach Black and brown children. Got a lot of flack for that. And that was what it was when I first came to Foundation. A majority white teachers teaching Black and brown children. And so it becomes, it's a culture, right? That you have to kind of understand, learn, but like you said, kudos to Foundation, because no one was afraid to learn that. The founder of the school he was a Black man.
I never knew that.
Yes, Ron Brady. He was a Black man who founded Foundation Academy. He actually worked at another charter school in Trenton and had decided, he was an administrator and had decided to open up his own school in Trenton. And so I think that, readily people were ready to understand, learn, listen, and not, pretend that they had all the answers, right? And I appreciate that. And it's where I, really understood my value. Like when I came here, I remember the first staff meeting as a teacher, we used to do these things called like positive descriptive praise, which is really a shout out. And I was like boohoo crying, shouting out the whole staff. And it really was because they embraced my talents, my skills, and I appreciated that. And that could be a difficult thing, but still at the same time, rising the ranks and wanting to become a leader was more about, I wanted to make an impact on more than just 90 kids, right? I'm like, I can influence and have an impact on other adults, which was important to me, who could have an impact on even more children and keep multiplying that, right? More and more and more. And the more adults and kids I can have an influence and impact on, and with, the more that changes the shape and trajectory of our city, right? Because to me, education is the root of every issue you can name. Amen. I believe that education is the root to all of that. So for me, that's what leadership is about. It's about the influence, right? The inspiring folks to move to action and be that model and sow that into children.
Well, I'm glad you came back home. Yes. And I'm glad that you are now at Foundation, and I feel like you are somebody that I connected with. So I will most definitely keep you in my mind and keep you in my prayers. And look, you never know. Let's just say that you never know.
You never know.
I want to thank God for Michelle. She said the most beautiful words about you.
Oh.
When she first, because we worked with her on a whole nother at WIMG, it was a whole nother campaign.
Mhm.
And thank God to her, she was able to connect us with that, but she did a whole nother campaign. And in the campaign of you guys hiring,
Mhm.
she spoke to me about that and what that would look like. But then she said, I would love for you to maybe interview our CEO. And I was like, really? She said, she's a dynamic person, just a
Mhm.
person. As a person, she's wonderful. And she was like, I just think you would love her. I'm grateful to her that she brought me to foundation, and now I get to see something totally different. But she was grateful for that. She's like, not only are you a good boss, but you are a wonderful neighbor and just a sweet person. So I was
Oh,
like, well, if you speaking that highly of her, of course I want to talk to her.
yes. Oh, thank you. Yes. Thank you, Michelle. I'm just being, right, who I was called to be. Well, I live a life on purpose, with purpose. And so that's why I'm here. And that's the work I do for others, right? I want people to be who they were called to be.
So your support staff, because you notice I went foundation first, and now we're going to talk about you, but your support staff, your family, your mother, um, do they support foundation because you do it, or they support it because they believe in it?
Oh, definitely they believe in it. And my daughter goes to the school, right? I'm a Trenton
That
resident.
says a lot.
Yes, my daughter is in first grade here. That was like it wasn't even a question unless she didn't get in through the lottery, of
Mhm.
course. But we believe in what foundation is here to do. I'm just carrying the torch that, the Ron Brady started in 2007. I'm just carrying it a little different, right? In a way that's me, in a way that meets the needs of our current students, our current families, and our current community. And my family, my support system sees that. They believe in that. My husband is actually a teacher at our high school. We didn't meet here, but we didn't meet at Foundation Academy, but he joined Foundation Academy back in 2013. And it was because he saw the work that Foundation was doing. And he had been to another school in Trenton and was, kind of contemplating, do I stay here? But he readily went to Foundation back then because he saw the work we're doing. We're ever evolving. We are evolving over time. We're not the same Foundation Academy that we were in 2007, 2010, or maybe even 3 years ago, right? And that, I think, is what my support system sees and really truly believes in.
So again, I want you to give a pitch for anyone who wants to become a student. I would love for you to talk about the lottery. Do the high school have a lottery?
Yes, so everyone goes through a lottery system. We are mandated by the state to have a lottery system just because we don't have enough seats for every student that applies. And so our lottery happens every March, so it's going to come up second week in March. Right now, everyone can apply, www.foundationacademies.org. Click on the enroll button, and you could quickly just enroll into our system. Make sure that you get a number. You'll receive a number. Everything is pretty much automated. If it may not be, user friendly, we also will help you. So you come to our 363 West State Street location and ask for help on how to enroll. We have laptops here. We will help you enroll your scholar. But yes, our lottery happens. We have to get that done. So we have our lottery in March. And then what happens after March is we really enforce everyone getting transfers and paperwork done. So every scholar can start on time when we start in August, when we're not racing to the finish line. We definitely need our K is a lottery. You know, a lot of people put their children into the lottery at K because we have 85 seats to fill. But we do need, I would like to see more. We're increasing our enrollment this year at our high school because I want to put more students inside of our high school building. And so please, definitely, if you're out there, especially 9th and 10th grade. I get 11th grade is kind of tricky, but hey, you want to bring your 11th grade. If your 11th grader wants to come and experience Foundation Academy, we're definitely here and welcome. Please enroll them by clicking that enroll button on our website. And if you're a staff, you want to be staff and you want to be a part of this and come work with such a wonderful person like myself and Michelle, visit our website as well. You could find out who we are, what we're all about. The same thing, we're about the same thing for kids that we're about for the adults. What we say and do is always in alignment. I don't like to say anything that we're not doing. So you can trust that we are who we are, and please apply. And again, if you're not sure, you know, even if you're not sure, but you're interested, just apply for anything. And we will reach out to you and we will use your talents in the correct area. The more people that we bring around, you know, positive people who are ready to move our mission and vision forward, the better for our scholars. So we need you. We need you. We need you, students, families, and potential staff members. Come join us.
All right. It was such a pleasure getting to meet you and know you. And you just actually gave me a different outlook on Foundation. And there's probably so many that was thinking like me, like they're, you know, I won't say all the words I've ever heard with grace. But I'm always open to hearing the changes.
Yes.
So what makes me respect them is they have been listening to the criticism in order to build.
Yes.
And I really love the fact that they hired within. And then they hired a young, beautiful African-American young lady. And that makes me smile to take over the whole entire thing. Kudos to you, and kudos to you going after what you want. Say parting words to any young child that has a dream or a passion. Give hope to them as we part.
I would just say, you know, life's a journey. And so the journey begins with one step, right? It's a pit stop. So whatever you're passionate about, whatever you love, whatever actually fires you up and makes you angry, just try it, right? Expose yourself to it. Surround yourself with people who can give you opportunities and access to really just determine and find out what your passions are. But again, just take one step. That's it. Just try it. Don't have too many expectations. Just do what you love. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, thank you so much. And I thank Michelle so much for connecting me. We will not be connected. I will tell you that now. Okay. So anytime you need us, anytime there's something you want to get out there, just give us a call right here at WIMG. And we will answer as much as we can, okay?
Thank you.
Go ahead, say it again.
No, I said, I so much appreciate you. I appreciate this. I really enjoyed our conversation, my time with you.
Yes, it went fast. Like this hour went very fast.
Yes.
And I feel like there's more we could talk about, but we'll channel it because I do want to have you back closer to the lottery, okay?
Yes, definitely.
All right. You have been listening to In the Public Interest and watching on WPHY, listening on 1300 WIMG. Have a very good night.